Now I want to focus a little bit more on some of the personal side. And this is where we're seeing some of the Biden tax laws come into play. So where the Trump tax laws really focus on business owners, the Biden tax laws seem to focus on more on the family. In different perspectives, different parties, whatever. Doesn't make any difference to me, what the laws are, in the sense of I can't change them, but we need to understand what they are. So we're seeing a child tax credit going up for 2022. We're not exactly sure what this amount is, because these amounts were jacked up for last year, and we're not exactly sure what they're going to do. So we're waiting on that, but the phase out amounts apply. So that if you're single and as long as your income is under 75 grand, then these tax credits qualify in full. Once your income goes over 200 grand, you get nothing. And then somewhere in between these, you get a reduced amount. And then these numbers over here are for married filing joint, where we're just doubling the single numbers. Okay, and that's for your adjusted gross income. But be aware that the credit amounts have gone up. And so if you're still preparing 2021, or if you've already had it prepared and you have kids that are under, or 17 or under, take a look. Make sure that the software, your preparer, TurboTax, whoever did the return didn't miss this. The child tax credit payments are coming as far as about a year ago. They started in advance payments. So again, if you didn't get these advance payments and you were entitled to get them, you can claim them as a tax credit on your 2021 return. So don't miss this, because these tax credits got much better. For instance, what the tax geeks call the EIC, the Earned Income Tax Credit here, is expanded. And so if you didn't qualify for that in the past, even without kids, you may qualify for it this year. And in instances where, let's say in 2021, your income was way, way down, or maybe you lost your job in January, found another one in December and didn't have any income, and so maybe you qualify for some of these tax credits that in the past you didn't qualify for. Same thing with renewable energy. If you're doing anything with your heating and air conditioning, a lot of solar related, so getting off of the oil and gas industry and trying to get into the green. And by doing so, there are tax credits. And remember, the credits we like a lot more than a deduction, because the credits reduce our taxes dollar for dollar. So if I get a $1 tax deduction, I may save 30 cents in tax. Whereas if I get a $1 tax credit, I'm saving $1 in tax. So even though some of these credits are low, notice this one expired at the end of last year, but I think it'll be renewed. But even if it hasn't, this is something you want to look at for last year as far as renewable credits, where this can get you a $500 credit. It can get you these small ranges of 50 to 300 bucks, where you may say, well, who cares? It's $100. But for me, I'd rather have that $100 than allow the government to have it. Either, if it's going to be the same either way. I'm not talking about stealing it from the government, but I'm talking about if I can claim a credit and get the money and it's perfectly legit, why would I not want to do that? And there's real big credits on solar panels. I mean, this is still a really big one. And even though they went down a little bit as far as what their value is, we still have a couple years before these expire. And so look at the amounts of the credits here that are available, 26%. So yeah, we missed the 30% by a couple years now. Take a look here that we can still get this credit plus potential state income tax credits as well. But how does that work? Well, just to give you a quick example, not that everyone's going to run out and buy a solar panel system, but here's a typical cost that you would have we get a tax credit. So this reduces our taxes by almost $6,000. And so actually this $22,000 system is really only costing us a little over 16 grand because the government is paying almost $6,000 of the system. This does not include then, if you think about, wow, we're out 16 grand still, how much energy are you saving? And when you go to sell the house, how much value are you getting as a result of the solar panels? And think about that in the sense of when you do go to sell the house and that economic value is reflected in a higher sales price, we're now able to use the tax laws and exclude all of that gain. So not only are we going to get more for the house, but with tax planning, we can avoid taxes on the sale. So lots of stuff to think about here as far as the personal side goes.